Hey guys, welcome back to another Foundry review. We got the next episode of Loki Season 2, Episode 4, Heart of the TVA. And we got the whole gang. You got myself, we got Johnny, we got Sly. Are you guys ready to talk about this episode? It was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
lot of thoughts here.
Yeah.
This show falling off the cliff in a really stale kind of way.
Yeah, we got a lot of plot points and like some weird timey loop shit where future is interacting with the past and very interesting shit.
It was nice to see that point like crossover that we were really expecting from the beginning of the show, but
True.
it didn't really hit me like, oh man, wow! It didn't really hit me like that.
Right. It was like, I think they had it set up in a way that you're like, huh, I guess that kind of makes sense. We're already dealing with time shit, so like, why couldn't it have been Loki that killed himself?
I called it.
Oh yeah, true.
Called that.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, cool. Like, who are you swerving? Me? Because I didn't care. Like, it didn't really mean anything to me.
Yep.
Like, it's not like oh no, he got pruned. Oh, he was supposed to get pruned. Like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, he himself knew that he got pruned, so like he was like, I gotta do this. I gotta prune myself. Otherwise, me right here wouldn't have been here in the first place.
Yeah.
Wild.
Had a great bit with cheesecake with hot chocolate. That was
Yes.
interesting.
Key lime pie?
Yeah,
And
instant
pie.
pie. Yeah. Comfort food.
There's
for
a
the
lot of
season.
sweets.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like it was an episode, and we left with another cliffhanger, which maybe judging by how
Very forced cliffhanger, in my opinion.
judging by how the show has been presenting itself, it'll be a kind of a really pointless cliffhanger that'll mean nothing really to me.
We still have 2 more episodes. I don't know what we're gonna do now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this show is just kind of, it's not going anywhere. Nothing really important is happening. It's like, cool, we explored a little western town. Like, awesome. Like, are we gonna explore like if there was a theme, it's like, all right, now we get to see a medieval town. Now we get to see like a futuristic like colony or something. Like, all right, cool, we're gonna be all over the place. Like, doing some TVA shit, chasing. But it's like that's not even the case. Everything feels like very in the one spot. Like everything feels so in the one spot. Like 3 episodes have not left the TVA, and it's like, can we move around a little bit, or can something significantly like happen?
Like even like General Docs and her crew, like there's no repercussions for them all getting murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
That has no bearing. I don't care.
I don't
and then
care.
2, it impacts the story not at all.
Yeah, it means
Yeah,
nothing.
they
to
already
me.
were side characters. They didn't do anything.
Yeah,
They just casually dropped the most gruesome scene, or
I know.
implied gruesome
Well, they
scene.
killed that storyline even before it began, which is really annoying.
Yeah, there could have been so much more because they were like trying to convince them to like rejoin them. Which, first of all, like I'm not sure how I feel about what's her name? No, not X.
Oh, B-15?
B-15. Like, she feels like she's supposed to be having a fairly significant role, but I'm like not convinced for some reason. Like that she had that interaction with the other old like council person,
The judge.
that was like, you changed my mind. I was like, I guess she did. And like, she's telling her that you could go convince, these Minutemen too. And I'm like, she can? Like, I don't know. I don't remember that being a
They
significant
just
part
rushed
of her
this
character.
whole storyline about like us caring about the TVA and like the rights behind it. I mean, that was not a thing that was even up for discussion in all of last season. And within the first episode, they tried to make it a big deal and just ran with it.
Yeah. They went from let's take down the TVA and let's get people free will, but now to we've got to save the TVA, which was like, I don't know. Like, I don't really have a lot of stake in the TVA, me personally.
Yeah, I don't know what to root for.
I don't really care if the TVA exists or not. It sounds like it needs to be there and maintained, but it's like, do they need like a soldier task? I don't know. I just don't know what the show is trying to do right now, and I feel really bad because I want to like the show because I like so many of the character interactions, and I like the potential. It's got a lot of potential, and I know it does because we saw what it was like last season.
Yeah, I think what I don't understand is I don't understand what's at stake. Like, obviously, we understand that the TVA might be destroyed, right? So, if the TVA is destroyed, then the multiversal war will happen, is what's implied.
I think that's
And
the stake.
yeah, but what I don't understand is that we already have a bunch of new branches now that we're not pruning. Won't
True.
the multiversal war happen regardless of whether the TVA can figure out how to increase the size of the loom or not? Because if they increase the size of the loom, all those branches are just going to always exist. And
Correct.
so they could still have a multiversal war. So
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't know
Like,
why they made the show about the semantics of the TVA when when the show doesn't want to get into it because it's so fucking full of like loopholes
Yeah.
and plot holes that they don't want to explain, but they make it the main like set piece of the show.
Yeah, the truth is, like, the easiest way for them to dumb it down is the TVA is essentially a prison for He Who Remains slash preventing all the other Kangs from even having a chance at starting over.
Right.
That's
Because
all it
they
is.
get
They keep
pruned.
snipping the same branches because everywhere out there is a butterfly that's trying to do something different, and the moment it does, that can just screw up the
Could
entire cosmic.
yeah, spiral
Yeah,
out of control and lead to another Kang being like in control
Exactly.
and more powerful.
yeah,
Yeah,
but if they're not pruning branches now, if they have this new goal of
no,
not
you're
pruning
yeah.
branches,
I think
now
you're right.
what?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
It's
you're
like
right.
weird. It's confusing.
But they don't realize that. The only person that keeps saying like this is a threat is Loki, but he's not telling them we need to keep pruning branches.
Yeah, that's a good point. He hasn't really said what will happen if. Yeah, he never said.
He's like
did he?
shits his pants about He Who Remains, but like he doesn't want to like prevent that from happening.
Yeah, it's like it's confusing. There's like conflicting things going
It's
on,
like-
and I don't know what to root for.
Dude,
Do I want the TVA to exist to prevent this? Do I want it to get destroyed? Because we have
Right.
Loki saying we got to keep it, which is kind of contradictory to like everything.
I
that
went
happened
back to
previous.
rewatch the first two episodes because of how poorly like they segued into each other because I wanted to look at them again. And I mean, when he first shows up in that first episode, he talks to Mobius and them all about like, he was like the devil, but maybe he wasn't. And that's starting to click for me. Like, he's so confused about this that he's just kind of going with the flow. He's afraid of that multiversal war. But at the same time, he's like, well, killing people's bad. So we can't just prune those branches because those innocent lives, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got Sylvie, who's a fucking mess. And she's like, I want to kill this guy, but also I don't want people to die. It's just like constant like contradiction. And that's not
Yeah.
helping the show move forward.
no.
Yep.
It's hard.
We're
to, like,
getting into the weeds on this one.
I know. Like, I'm not trying to be like hateful on the or be a fucking hater about it, but it's just like there's not enough for me to like and be supportive. Like, oh, they did this really well. They did this really well, and I'm just kind of like, I'm just floating. The last two episodes, I feel like, all right, that was there. Like, okay, that was a freebie of nothing. Like, come on, next episode that'll lead up to something interesting or something important or something for me to hang on and be happy about and be excited for the next one. But like. I'm not been excited for the next episode since episode
First
1.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Kind of losing interest and even hope, which should not be the case for a fucking television show. And this episode was
Yeah.
kind of long too, which was nice.
Yeah,
But still, nothing fucking happened.
that's the problem. It's like, man, 50 plus minutes of what happened?
Yeah, I think we're getting into, again, one of those situations where they had a bunch of things that they need to happen in the show, and they're like, how are we going to make it work? And they're like, all right, get these characters here. And it's not very character driven. Like, we're not leading based on what the character would do in this moment. We're like, we need to get these events to happen, and then we make the characters do what they need
They
to
just
do to get them
slap
into these positions.
Two pieces of shit together to make one big shit, and that's what they.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
So it's like we started off strong, and now they're just like, all right, so this is happening, and this is the end goal. We just gotta put it into
Gotta find a way to
places.
connect these two, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So it feels like kind of shallow in that regard. It's like
So
we
many
have
are
things
just missing
happening,
each
but
other too. Like seeing like the torture sequence. How is it that what's his name X5? You would have thought he'd be more like concerned about Docs, considering like in the first episode he's like nuzzling her, and they have like this weird mom-son relationship. To him just going, well, glad that ain't me.
yep.
Like, what the hell happened?
yeah.
and then just immediately switches. He doesn't take a lot of time to be like, wow, I just watched all those people get crushed to death.
It's just
He's
like I
just
get
like,
to go
all
be
right,
Brad Wolf and make shitty films.
yeah, like okay, cool. Like, damn, bro, you should have some hardcore trauma. I mean, did you see Miss Minutes' face when those
I know
people were dying?
she was like looking, she was like happy about it, but everyone else was like wincing and like in
Yep, she was
disgust, and
very
she was
happy
like,
about
"Fuck
it.
Even
yeah."
Renslayer's like trying to like keep it together, but fucking Miss Minutes is like, oh, this shit's just
It's hitting good. Yeah,
It's
so
really
like
going good.
bro.
just Miss Minutes and Ravonna were at the end of time, and they saw He Who Remains Dead body, had no reaction to it. I feel like it was just nothing, you know. I feel like it should have had a bigger reaction. Like, this is the end of time. Wow, I'm seeing the end of time for the very first time, and this is like my boss who's supposed to be alive but is dead because of Loki.
Yeah.
And it's just like felt like nothing. Felt like it was nothing. No reaction, no motivation, no like, I don't know, rekindling of their spirits or like putting them on a path to I don't know. Just was kind of disappointing.
Yep.
So I felt like that should have been a good moment.
Weird character moments. Like, it's not clear what the character motives is. Like, again, we also had weird stuff with Sylvie again, where I don't understand her motivation either. She's like, she keeps being like,
Oh,
we gotta kill him. We gotta stop the TVA from being a thing. And like, meanwhile, she's here kind of helping. And like, the other three are trying to figure out the device to make the loom bigger, blah, blah, handle the branches. And then, you know, Mobius is like, all right, cool. They're doing that thing. Let's go get some pie. And she's like, she goes off on him for no reason. She gets like so angry and like, you don't understand. You didn't even check out where you are on the timeline in your life and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm not sure I understand her logic, and it's hard to get behind her as a character because I can't.
She's not
connect her thought
likable
process.
at all this season. At all. She wants to kill one of, like, I'd say who is a new character. She wants to kill the one of the best things about the show. And it's like, please don't kill Victor Timely. I like him. He's moving the plot along. You are not. Fuck off, Sylvie. Like, if you do not want to like have your character develop at all, fine, that's on you. But like, don't hinder the rest of the show, please.
It's funny because like in last season, she went from being like that underdog we were rooting for the whole time.
She sucks so much this season.
Becoming this.
Yeah, she sucks, man.
She's like an obstacle this season. She just keeps getting in the way of things.
Yeah, which is like, man, they did not do her any justice.
She's
Like,
just whiny.
it's fine that they have different thought processes on things, but they need to, I don't know, present it in a slightly different way, because she's like in this weird middle place where she's still helping out. She's there, but she's also just constantly being.
But I'm mad at you for it.
Like, yeah, she's constantly being like bringing them down about what they're trying to do. Like, then why are you here? Go either do what you're going to do or something else. I don't understand. She's like playing both sides to some degree, and it's like,
so she comes out on top. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what
Loki
it is.
thing to do.
Yeah,
That's
the show is feeling a little lame. I'm not.
I don't know where it's going, to be honest. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm.
the end of this episode, just like, all
If
right,
if
looks like we're gonna die.
the next one doesn't pick up, I'm not gonna care where it goes.
Yeah, we only have 2 more episodes.
I'm
It's
very
gonna be
worried.
like that WandaVision finale where he's like, "What happened?"
There's a bunch of stuff we got to tie up, and here it is, I guess.
I'm a robot. No, you're a robot. What?
Are we the same robot? I don't know.
If
I
is
suspect
this the
we're
same
gonna-
ship? Is this the same Victor?
I suspect we're gonna get a glimpse of Mobius's what do you call it?
I
His,
don't want to see it. I personally don't want to see it. I like.
You
this
don't want to see Mobius's life on the timeline.
No, I don't. I feel like he should. You know, I feel like that's the perfect growth for his character. But I feel like either way, it's gonna be really sad for him.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, like, his whole pride and joy is in his work and being productive and being like a member of this community in the TVA, and that's who he is. And to take that away, then who is Mobius?
I was just waiting for Sylvie to just take over and enchant him without
I
his
know.
I was waiting for it, and they didn't
Yeah.
do it. I was
That
like,
that was a
would've made
really
more sense.
That was a really
would've made
funny
sense.
bit when she couldn't at the time because I don't think has the
magic
powers.
yeah, but they turned off the magic thing.
Yeah, that was
No,
much
no, no.
later when
But
it was
I
dire.
thought that was
Yeah,
just temporary
true.
though.
When they're
True,
rebooting.
they did
maybe.
later.
But that was a
Yeah.
really funny bit whenever they're like, "Oh, but the powers will be available for everyone to use,"
Turn
and
it off.
they
Do
both look
it.
at each other and immediately like, "Turn it off." That was pretty funny. That was a good bit.
That was pretty. That was like the best part of the episode.
Yeah.
Uh,
The show. Can we say it sucks yet or no? That doesn't suck. But you guys,
that's tough.
no, I don't think it sucks. It's kind of.
Yeah, I don't think it sucks. I think it's just lacking
Frustrating.
depth of characters. Like we have interesting set pieces. We have like all the things are almost there. Like we have interesting plot points. We have interesting like set pieces. We have potentially very interesting characters, but they're just not. There's just a bit missing where it's like
Always holding them back. Yeah.
yeah, like you can't get fully invested in like something because there's too much going on. There's too many characters that we're supposed to really care about, and they all have slightly different like motivations.
Had different plots going on, and they're all like in the same location as well. So it's weird how it's like there's like, oh, we're switching between like 4 different things right now, and it's like all in the exact same fucking location.
Yeah, it's all in the TVA, and we're like, we have no sense of like how big the building actually is, how hard it is to actually find people, like because it's in this weird environment that we don't much understand. It's hard to like understand how difficult things are supposed to be. Like there was an elevator, and Sylvie she just hotwired it. It's like, okay, sure. Like I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
in
feel
this
like there's
weird futuristic.
way less employees
TVA?
now.
Yeah,
Like, people just, like,
it feels like there's no
bureaucrats.
one there.
Yeah, it feels very empty and lifeless, like your typical
There's
Marvel.
only like a
soulless
dozen
show.
Minutemen people. Like,
Usually.
what kind of like, resistance was that, or whatever you want to call it, rebellion? Like, I imagine there must be way more employees than that. and
Well,
way
think
more
about the very
soldiers.
first episode of the first season of how many people had to check Loki in.
Yeah,
Like, what happened to all these people? I don't know.
who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know what the hell is. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that show. It's very weird how like they just randomly introduce the generals, and it's like, who the fuck are these people, and how do they have authority, and what are they doing? And it's just out of nowhere, and they're all just, we're gonna be warlords and do our own thing. This show is just so all over the place, and did a deep dive into the semantics and what the TVA is and how it operates with its like different divisions and people and everything. It's just like, man, if they're really gonna do that, they should have they should have at least tried a little harder for us to be understanding and know what the fuck's going on. At least it makes sense to us. Like, I'm just not gonna go for a ride and just be like, oh okay. Like, I like to be in the loop, or at least think about what's gonna come next, or like, this is what this character needs to get done. How are they going to do it? What's going to happen if they do it? Like, how is it going to affect this character? How's it going to affect the world? How's it going to affect the environment? How's it going to affect like the future? You know, like, how's this? But I have nothing to think about with that because I don't know what the fuck's going on still.
Yeah, because it's all time stuff. It's
And
hard
it's
to,
just like, oh, if the loom blows up, like, that's going to be bad. Like, what the fuck's going to happen when that happens? Like, what happened? What does that fucking mean?
yeah, the TVA gets destroyed and multiversal war, I guess, is the implication. But like, it seems like that's gonna happen regardless. And like, I just the whole like plan to make the loom bigger was like, this doesn't even make sense. We're gonna put this thing, we're gonna launch it at the loom, and that's gonna make it bigger somehow. That's gonna just make them give this thing more material to handle more looms.
You know what you
or
need to do?
more
Go in the
timeline
computer
somehow.
and you make it wider. There you go.
You just download more RAM, dude. Like that's just
More
how
gigabytes.
it works.
Dedicated weighted wham.
Control and scroll with the mouse.
More
Yeah.
dedicated weighted wham. No, it's
Easy.
fucking. I don't know what the fuck's happening in the show.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks.
I don't know if I have much beyond that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really don't want to talk about, like, I guess the key moments of the show because I kind of don't care. because I don't feel like a lot of that stuff is necessary. Like they, just besides they made Miss Minutes and Ravonna wanted to turn on Victor, and they can think they can run the TVA by themselves, which, you know, it sounds way more scarier of them being like, oh, we can manipulate Victor Timely into being the Kang we know from the first season, and to being a very evil, dastardly man. But instead they're like, oh no, we're just gonna go do our own thing. Like, really? Like the fucking Cube massacre? That's all right, cool. That's gonna be our main villains. Like, I don't give a shit, man.
Especially when like Miss Minutes is gonna tell him like, you'll never be him, and it's like, okay, well, then who's he gonna be?
Yeah, and I don't even understand what their plan is, because no matter what they do, the TVA is still gonna get destroyed by the Loom not having enough.
I know,
like,
so it's
they're like taking
so
Victor
stupid.
away from being able to help, and they're like, well, this is the best course of action because, you know, the Loom being destroyed is not our top priority for some reason. Like, we got to take over control, even though it doesn't matter because it's still going to get destroyed.
Cool.
Like, I don't
TVA got
understand what their
destroyed.
thought process
Awesome.
is.
Good job. Like, you did
took
what
it
you wanted
over
to
and then
do.
it got destroyed. Like, what was their plan? There's no way they could have tried to
They could have
handle
done
that by
nothing and the
themselves.
same outcome would happen. Oh, fuck. We didn't talk about the very end where Victor Timely, like, blew up.
Yeah, fucking spaghetti.
He meets a timely death.
Oh, yeah. And then just fucking OB goes, I guess the radiation was too high. It's like, really? Like, all
Also, how did
these-
they see him die?
I don't know.
They were above. There's no way they would have seen him blow up and like turn into string cheese, because they
he had the
unless
Mr.
they had a camera there
he had
that
the
we didn't
Mr.
know about.
Fantastic death from Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Dude,
That was,
shit was wild.
And
That's
they
his
have all
father.
these tools and measurements like on their fucking like in the room, but they're like, and he just goes, I guess the time radiation was too high. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. And it's just like, oh my god. This show doesn't know
Yeah.
what the fuck it's doing. It hasn't. Ah, man, they had such a cool fucking dope premise that first episode. It was so fun. Now I can't even go back and watch that first episode with it being like, oh great, like it's a bunch of meh moments that mean nothing. This feels like this means nothing, just like any other Marvel bullshit.
Yep.
God,
They
this
gotta
one
figure out their
irritated
TV
me.
show problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really fucking pissed if I end up liking Secret Invasion more than the show.
Jesus Christ.
That's tough. That's a tough
I'm gonna be really
one.
pissed off
That's an insult.
because I don't want to say that out loud to people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's trending that way. I don't think it's. I don't think that's gonna happen necessarily.
Dude,
but
what's gonna happen? How much you want to bet that it's gonna like fucking do a time revert where it reverts it? It's gonna go back to a certain time. What will happen?
I don't know. That's the problem. I have no idea. I
My
feel like
money
somehow
is
Victor
on-
Timely is gonna still be alive or something. But
Yeah. My money's on like everyone just getting scattered about all over again. Because we don't really know what the repercussions of like that wave of energy or whatever the shit that was is. That's just vaporizing everything? Is it throwing people out of the timeline? Because remember in the first episode when he prunes himself, he freaking gets pulled from that thread of time.
yeah, true.
And yet people are over there, you know, Mobius is over there in his suit like disintegrating, remember Skin. And then obviously Timely got turned into straight up string cheese. So how is it that someone can like spawn from it, but then other people are like walking into it like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I guess it's just it's amplified quite a bit, and the reason he spawned into it is because he pruned himself at the exact same moment that not the exact same moment, but like on cue with whatever Mobius plugged into the machine, right? So it was like that combination of that thing happening. But I can only assume that it was not as dangerous to go in there. I guess like I don't know. I guess the branches kept growing and it got more fucking dangerous to go in. But like maybe the man like who was behind that shit for centuries apparently and eons in their words, would have known that it would have been fucking dangerous for someone just to walk in like that. Bit of an oversight. Also, just motherfuckers just teleporting into the TVA just left and right. Like, they don't give a shit. It's just the easiest thing to do, and no one cares. There's just people.
Everyone's got a temp pad. So.
I fuck it.
Yeah,
There's
I
just
think
people
broken
screaming
down.
and wailing and dying in this torture room, and like no one gives a shit. People are just fucking drinking hot chocolate and eating key lime pie.
Yeah,
So goofy.
I think that's what annoyed me about like Sylvie's actions as well. Like she sent Ravonna to the end of time, and like there was no repercussions for that. They just left. Like I
Yeah.
thought there was going to be like she sent them there because like, you know, she had He Who Remains as temp pad, right? So like that's like you'd think maybe the only one that can go to the end of time, and they would have a hard time getting back out of there. But nope, they just left, went back to the TVA, no problem. Like, sure, I guess that that can make sense. I don't understand why she sent them there. She could have just killed them, or
She could have,
sent them
yeah.
into an apocalypse
Mhm.
or something, destroyed their temp pad, and then sent them into an apocalypse.
Yeah.
So many number of things. But
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is happening with this show.
yeah,
It kind of annoys the shit out of me. I think this show is just kind of burning me out a little bit. That's why.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess if we're all done just kind of ranting about how bullshit the show is getting, I guess we can drop a rating.
Yeah. Well, I guess Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts from you, Sly?
No, not really. I feel like we kind of hit the nail on the head right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's only so much I could bash about this without like analyzing every single scene by scene.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's just it's a slippery slope.
we can just say an overview of it's bad. It needs to get better, please.
Yes.
But I think I'll just give it a 6.
I'm gonna back that up. 6.
I'm more just disappointed as a whole for the show right now, rather than just another episode. I'm just like, it's hard not to be like transfer that mood into the whole
Yeah.
series. It's just like, man, still not good, still not what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll go with a 6 as well. This was not a great episode. There was some interesting stuff, but I think I agree that the score is definitely affected by just the overall direction of the show so far, because episode 4, you can't just analyze it by itself. It's
Yeah.
a culmination of the episodes before, and the episodes before have not been great. So this one also, as a result, gets a bit of a lower score for sure.
Well, and if you look back at season 1, the format, like all the events that happened in episode 1, 2, 3, 4. Episode 4 was where they had that revelation that their time gods were fake.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bomb that got dropped on
Yeah,
them.
that was a
And
big.
then Loki gets pruned. It's
Yeah.
like, holy shit, dude.
Like, that's a
lot
fucking
happened.
cliffhanger, and they dealt with the cliffhanger very well in the next episode, and it was exciting as fuck. It's like on
100%.
how they like bounce back from the cliffhanger, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the
true.
question now we got for episode 5 coming up. What are they going to do that's going to make this episode decent? It has to make up, literally, the next episode has to essentially validate this episode. Because this episode by itself was not special. Not good.
Like 2, 3, and 4 are not special or good. Still waiting for the next episode to
Yeah,
validate
that's the
it.
problem.
Yeah.
Each episode after is not helping add substance to what we saw before.
Yeah, you think
Episode
that?
1 was a standalone, and it was like, wow, this is superb.
Yeah, you could be like, oh, this is the setup. Like, oh,
Yep.
it's not. I guess. All right. Maybe the next
We're not
episode.
going to carry off of that? Okay.
Yeah. You know what you're doing. You're the professionals. Anyway, yeah, Ken, what's your score?
Yeah, 6 as well, I think.
Damn, this one saddened you. That's like the lowest review you've ever had for a show.
Rough.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I don't think I've gone lower than a 6.
I don't think so either.
I think I might have given some 6s to
Falcon.
Falcon. Yeah, yeah, I think so. That show was a bit rough. So
This show's so fucking garbage, dude. At least we're not watching that shit, dude. I don't want to see that stupid fucking agent ever again.
Actually, we might still. I mean, there's the not in that show, but a different project. Huh?
We don't review movies anymore. We're good.
That's funny. That's true.
I don't want to talk about any of the fucking movies that Marvel movies I've seen for the last 2 years anyway.
We got the Marvels coming up, baby.
Fucking kill me. God. All right. There you go, guys. 6. See you later.
Peace.